what is pricing? Because I think probably not, maybe there's 2 or 3 people who would agree on what the heck pricing is here, but not many. A lot of people say it's the price tag. Yes, but I think that's 10% of the answer. I believe price level, as represented by a price tag or whatever, is an output. And the inputs to pricing are the value of what you're offering, sometimes net value, sometimes gross value, it depends. I've seen both cases that seem to determine price level. Competition, brand, and pricing capabilities. And I think most people leave branding out of this, and I think that's particularly important in software. What do I mean by branding? I mean, brand, in my humble opinion, drives price when it addresses something you can't tell by yourself. What do I mean by that? We did a piece for the United States Postal Service, and we basically were asked, gee, could they raise the price of the cent by 2 cents, the price of the stamp by 2 cents? First time they did that. And the answer was yes. Along the way, ran into an interesting point, which was that a lot of bulk mailers were using first-class stamps, even though they didn't need to. They could have used bulk mail insignia, as it's called. So why were they doing that? We did some interviews, and it turned out that all of you are very brand sensitive when it comes to your mail. You show up at home, there's a stack of mail this thick, you don't have the time. And the first thing you do is you throw out all the bulk mail insignia. So that's why your bank or a credit card solicitation or anyone else who's soliciting you will squander an extra 10, 13 cents or so on a first-class stamp, not because it gets there any quicker, because it doesn't, not because it gets there more reliably, because it doesn't. It's just basically so you look at it and you say, ha, this is not junk mail, or at least until you open it. So we think brand is incredibly important to pricing. And finally, pricing capabilities, I think, are very, very important. That might be a billing capability, it might be a back office capability. But let me give you, in my opinion, a brilliant example of a pricing capability. And that's those of you who have children probably been in a Toys R Us. And you may have noticed that for a while, and I gather there's some issues that they didn't roll this out to all the stores, they didn't have price tags on the toys. So what you do is you pick up your Cupid doll, you'd walk to a kiosk, scan the Cupid doll, and it would say 20 bucks. And you'd either say, all right, dump it in the cart, or no. What Toys R Us had done, and Toys R Us has lots of problems for many reasons, but it isn't because they've got, that was stupid about this particular piece of pricing. What they developed was a way of figuring out what the drop-off was. So they would experiment. Some Cupid dolls would go at $30 when you scan them, some would be at $10. The 90% drop-off rate at $30 told them the Cupid doll wasn't supposed to be priced that way. So they'd have an optimizer. So throughout the day, people were giving them information, not merely about what they bought, but what they didn't buy. Very clever pricing capability. And on the web, the nice thing about it is you guys can often come up with very clever pricing capabilities. So for instance, we recently worked with a provider, and basically they are now buying information from Expedia and some of the other travel folks because they're an entertainment provider whose product tends to be used while people are traveling. So you immediately start deduping in a way that gets you to those people. And it allows you to do very nicely timed promotions. So the week before they leave, you can get an email saying, buy this audiobook. So that's what I call pricing capability. So I repeat, the price level is the outcome. If you do brilliant value, brilliantly destroy your competition, do great branding and understand your branding, not the, oh, let's all feel good kind of branding, but real branding. Like what is it they need to know to make a judgment as to the value? And you have good pricing capabilities, you will have the optimal price level.